Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to Copper Jacket TV. So I've got some pretty big news today. It's not great news. Gavin Newsom just signed 3 of the gun control bills that headed to his desk, and 2 of them are the worst. So let's talk about what he just signed. Now, real quick, I want to thank you all very much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you are not subscribed yet, hit that little subscribe button. It's free. It only takes a second, but it helps me out quite a bit. And if you wouldn't mind, hit that little alarm bell. That'll let you know when new videos come out because it's not always showing up in people's feeds. And share this information to those people who need to know it. Thanks again. Let's get to the video. Okay, so let's go ahead and talk about what's going on here. So unfortunately, there were about a dozen gun control bills that were sent up to the governor's desk for his signature. He has until October 14th to sign any that he hasn't already. The 3 that we're going to be talking about today are 3 of the worst. The first one you guys are going to know pretty well. We've talked about it on this channel quite a bit. I think pretty much everybody's talked about it. And that is California's Bruin Response Bill SB 2. That was just signed into law in California. So SB 2 is a terrible bill. If you don't know what it is, basically it's, in my opinion, it's like just the same as a ban on carry because of how it limits where you can carry throughout your day. It makes a lot of different places, sensitive locations, and it really causes a lot of interruptions and problems for somebody who wishes to carry. The other thing is, it also means that they're really going to be digging into who you are and into your character and into your past, and the whole application process just got a lot more difficult because this was signed. So there's going to be, a lot more intensive background checks. There's going to be higher fees. There's going to be even more extensive training that's involved. And again, if you actually make it through all of that, you pay all of those fees, and you get through all that time that it takes to actually get it, and you get it, you still can't use it in very many places. Again, with all the different sensitive locations, SB 2 is just a complete nightmare. Now, the next one is another one that we've talked about quite a bit on this channel, and that's going to be AB 28, better known as the 11% tax increase. So what this means now that it's signed is that come July 1st, everything's going to be more expensive in the state of California by approximately 11%, unless some people, give their customers a break. So what this does is it assesses an additional 11% tax on FFLs and vendors for any firearms or ammunition transactions. Now, that's on top of any other taxes and fees that are already collected, so there's no way that they're going to be able to eat that. I mean, it just takes away the margin completely, and so what they're going to have to do is they're going to have to start charging the consumer more in order to make up for that. So just keep in mind that July 1st, 2024, now that it's signed into law, that is when this will take effect, and you're going to see prices go up. Okay, so the next bill that he signed is going to be SB 452. This is one that we haven't talked about all that much, but this is a very sneaky bill. I mean, this is about as snake in the grass as you could possibly get. So I'm sure you guys have noticed that there's been a lot of new things that have been added to the roster recently. Well, that's because there's no longer a microstamp requirement because that part of the roster was enjoined by a federal judge, and California didn't oppose that part of it. So there's currently an injunction, and so without the microstamping provision, people are able to get things on the roster. What California did is they withdrew their opposition to the microstamping, and they simply delayed its initiation. So as you know, there was a requirement to get on that roster, so something had to have microstamping to make it on, which basically just stopped anything new from being added to the roster. What SB 452 does is it delays it until 2028. So that means that there will be a microstamping requirement to get on the roster in 2028. What they did is they're giving it time for that lawsuit to go through, right? So this lawsuit's going to go through. We all know that we have a very good chance of actually winning this case. And so without that microstamping thing, they're going to be forced to relitigate that come 2028 when the roster again gets stopped because the microstamping provision is going to hit and nothing new is going to be able to be added because even in 2028 it's not going to be a viable option. And so again, it's just a way to delay and then freeze the roster down the road. So California is being very sneaky with this one, not opposing the injunction on that microstamping requirement, but then kind of moving it down the road after these lawsuits have all been finished and then implementing the microstamping portion. That's what happened with 452 being signed by the governor. So that's just 3 3 of some of the very bad ones. There's a lot of other ones that are pretty bad as well, and we'll talk about those in other videos, but I wanted to make you guys aware of that. All three have been signed, and it's absolutely terrible. But that's what we all expected, right? I mean, given California's history, given the push for the 28th Amendment, and given everything else that happens there, I'm not surprised whatsoever. I don't think anybody else is either. But again, I wanted to let you know about it, and I want to thank you all very much for watching. If you haven't done so already, please like, subscribe, and try and have a good day if you live in California. Take care.